Okay. Okay, now, so sabi ko sa inyo mag-MS tayo ngayon, tama? Di nyo ko
Yes
narinig?
po.
Okay. So, ang nabunot ko is, H. Group H kagabi. Okay. So, what we're going to do now is you are to discuss to me the topic in store for today. So, the topic in store for today is, wait lang, I'm opening the file. Group 2, can you please send, sino nag-send ka sa akin nag-send nung ano ninyo, ng report ninyo?
Si Myri po, sir.
Si Myri. Wait lang, hanapin ko lang. Hindi ko kasi na-download kahapon. Pero
po pala yun.
ha?
Sina Jamaica po.
Yung,
Kami
yung,
yung report.
oh, wait lang.
Sina Jamaica po.
Sinong gumawa ng, okay, sila Jamaica yung cryptogenic. Tama? Napanood ko na yung sinend sa akin ni Redondo at saka ni Miss Perey. Pero hindi ko pa siya natatapos. I'll be honest with you. I'm grading you based from the output, ha? Baka isipin nyo wala akong pinagbabasya ng grading nyo. I'm basing it if it's copy-paste or not, if it's well-discussed or not, if it followed really the format I have presented or not. Okay? And then, of course, yung reporting, ginigrade ko kung how you did your reporting. Was it purely basa lang sa PowerPoint? Or was it discussed? Whether the questions raised in NCAX type of questions was relevant or not. So, doon ko binabase. So, I ensure na yung tema ng MS natin is that medyo mahirap nga kasi ituro yung MS ng online talaga eh. Kaya ako ginawa yung ganitong strategy para kahit papaano I know na kahit hindi nyo topic, pag-aaralan nyo in the fear na baka kayo matawag to report. Okay, hindi ko pa mabuksan yung sa group 2. Wait lang. So, yung group 3 ngayon, sino sino gumawa nung sa lang ka answer? Sino nag-send?
Sir, ako po.
Sino yon? Sino? Ba't ang hina ng volume nyo?
Si Eunice po.
Eunice, okay. Check ko mamaya So, ang second reporter natin was Group E, tama? Decano daw din? Okay. Who reported for the cholecystitis?
Sa group 5 po ba yun, sir? Ay, group E po.
Sino nag-report? Hindi ko pa tapos yung video eh. Mamaya ako
Myri
pag-grade
po.
yung video. Decano.
Ay, sir, yung nireport po na group, nireport po namin, sa group 2 po yun. Tapos
alam
topic
ko
po namin yung sa group E, yung cholecystitis, isa pong topic.
Sorry. Sino nag-report na, thank you for that, Redondo. Sino nag-report ng COP? Cryptogenic.
Sinay Hazel po.
Sinay Hazel? Daw din? Tama ba?
Opo. Sir? Opo.
Sino nag-report ng bronchiectasis?
Yes,
Ako po, sir.
Sino
Redondo po.
Redondo.
Opo, bronchitis po.
And then, tuberculosis?
Nakario.
Ako po, sir,
nakayo. Magsisend ka pa ba
Sir?
sa akin na tayo?
Sir, didiscuss ko po yung pathophysiology po kasi hindi ko po natapos.
Okay. And then, isend mo na sa akin mamaya para isang, mag-gradin ko na kasi yung reporting ng group 2. And isasabi, syempre, namin ng group 5. So, para kasama na rin yung sa'yo. Okay? And then, sino report na...
Hindi ko na po, sir, i-discuss ngayon po.
Ay, yung nga pala, ngayon ka nga pala. Sorry. Gusto pala ngayon. Sorry. Pulmonary embolism, sino?
Si Leia po.
Miss Taubon ka po, sir.
Bunyuen. Bunyuen, di ba? Bunyuen. And then, yung last, yung thorax. Sino yan?
Dekan.
Okay. Okay, so now, the third reporter would be Group H, di ba? Tama ba?
Yes po.
Opo, sir.
Sila alinsunurin ba to?
Opo.
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 Okay. So, hanapin ko lang yung file ng Group 3. For example, yung lung cancer. Si Hina nag-send, ano? Sa Group 2, sino nga ulit nag-send ng report ninyo?
Peray po, sir. Si Peray po.
Okay, Perry. Asan ang search dito? Perry. MS report. Okay. Alin dito ang tama, Miss Perry? Set 2, set 2 parehas eh. Both?
Sir, yung isa po kasi PPT, yung isa po naka-PDF po.
Okay. So, aggregated na to.
Yes po.
Okay, thank you. And then yung isang nag-send ay si Miss Hina. Hina. Rin dito. MS set 3. Miss Hina, are you there?
Cystitis. Akala ata ni Sir, group A tayo, yun yung na-report natin, yung pang-group in topic. Kaya kinlarify ko na ang report natin is
Ang hina ng volume mo,
sa
be.
group 2. Lito ata si Sir.
Okay. Okay na ako. Game. So we'll start, okay, the session will start with Nakario to continue her report, and then after which Group H, okay, to report the third set of report, and then rest tayo ng Wednesday. I mean, what do I mean by rest ng Wednesday? Ano ha? Magdi-discuss ako ng Wednesday. Or you gusto niyo talaga rest ng Wednesday? Pabor naman sa akin yun. So Wednesday, ako magdi-discuss, i-discuss ko yung streamline ko yung mga important details ng report ng group 1, 2, ng reports 1, 2, and 3. Okay? So, Miss Nakario, you may proceed now.
Okay po, sir. Present ko lang po. Yeah. Shit. Hmm. Kita na po ba?
Oo, dear.
Yes po.
Hello? Hello po.
Rinig na.
Hello?
So,
Good morning, classmate. Good morning, sir. So, ipapagpatuloy ko lang po yung hindi ko natapos na pathophysiology last time. Sorry po. So, ayun. Droplets generated by cough or sneeze of an infected person. So, when a susceptible person inhales an infected droplet containing microbacteria, it will be transmitted through airways until it reaches the bronchioles and alveoli. And initially, it will be deposited and multiplied in the apices of the lungs, apices or superior region of the lungs. Then it will be transported by a lymph system and bloodstream. So what will happen when bacteria and pathogens carried through bloodstream? So it will be carried to the other parts of the body, such as kidneys, bones, cerebral cortex, and other areas of the lungs. So kapag kumalat siya sa other parts of the body, that's when inflammatory reaction starts. And inflammatory reactions allows phagocytosis in which TB-specific lymphocytes lyse or destroy the bacilli and normal cell wall, and then magkakaroon ng accumulation of exudate or lesions in the alveoli that will lead to bronchopneumonia, kung saan nagkakaroon ng inflammation sa alveoli, and ang tendency is magkukonstrict yung airways, kaya nagkakaroon ng manifestation na cough. Wait lang, hindi ko wala na pa. Ayan. And then, another consequence kapag nagkaroon ng accumulation of exudate sa alveoli is that nagkakaroon ng partial occlusion or blockage sa bronchial and sa alveoli. And kapag may blockage, ang tendency is matatrap yung air inside the lungs, and this blockage will interfere with the diffusion of oxygen and carbon dioxide. And syempre, kapag may problema sa gas exchange, the areas of the lungs will be inadequately ventilated. Kaya nagkakaroon ng dyspnea or shortness of breath. And kapag yung areas of the lungs is inadequately ventilated, syempre yung oxygen capacity, carrying capacity is magdi-decrease, and it can cause tissue hypoxia. So tissue hypoxia is when the body tissues are deprived of adequate oxygen supply, and tissue hypoxia causes fatigue and tachycardia. Wait, di pala nakita. Ayun, causes fatigue and tachycardia. Next. So back po doon sa wait. TB-specific lymphocytes lyse or destroy the bacilli and normal cell wall. So when TB-specific lymphocytes lyse or destroy the bacilli and normal cell wall, may tinatawag po tayong granulomas or yung small areas of inflammations, and it will be surrounded by and these granulomas po will be surrounded by macrophage to form a protective wall that will eventually transform to a fibrous tissue mass. And sa center portion of it po, may tinatawag tayong gun tubercle. So gun tubercle po is a type of lesions. So this material po will become necrotic, and kapag yung cells is namamatay, merong cheesy mass na nagsistart na mag-form and eventually, itong mga cheesy mass na ito will be calcified. And these materials na na-calcified will appear as collagenous scar. Kita ba? Ayan, collagenous scar. And then, the bacteria will become dormant. Pag sinabing bacteria will become dormant, these bacteria po will be temporarily inactive. So, temporarily po muna. And after initial exposure and infection, our immune system will tend to lower down. Hihina po yung immune system natin. And kapag humina po yung immune system natin, that's when the bacteria will become resistant. And syempre, kapag resistant ang bacteria, they will survive and they will become liberated. And kapag liberated ang bacteria, doon po nagkakaroon ng active infection. And when active infection develop, nagkakaroon ng ulceration or break on the surface of gun tubercle. And this ulceration po leads to hemoptysis or yung ubo na may kasamang dugo na na-expel from the lungs. So, so another consequence po kapag nagkaroon ng ulceration sa gun tubercle, again, meron pong marirelease na cheesy formation into the bronchi, and then gun tubercle will heal and will form a scar tissue. And kapag yung TB patient po nag-undergo ng chest x-ray, may magre-reflect po sa result na parenchymal lesion. And yung ulceration po nagkakos din siya ng productive cough. Then, another thing po, when active infection develop, mas lalong nag-i-increase yung fever kasi diba isa sa signs and symptoms of tuberculosis is fever. So, mas lalong tataas yung fever. So, when fever increases, basal metabolic rate also increases. And it can cause anorexia or eating. It can cause anorexia or eating disorder. And it may turn to cachexia. So yung cachexia po is weakness with muscle wasting or the loss of fat. And yes po, yung cachexia po leads to weight loss. And lastly po, another consequence of developing an active infection is that lytic enzyme will increase, and these enzymes po will eventually cause an obstruction sa airway natin. And kapag may obstruction sa airway, ang tendency is matatrap yung air sa lungs, and kapag tumaas yung pressure, it will lead to atelectasis or lung collapse. And then, caseous necrosis, in which cells will start to die, and scarring, cavitation, and recurrent scarring, then extensive until the scarring cavitation covers most or the large areas of the lungs, and then lung consumption, which is the tuberculosis itself, and alveolar tissues of the lungs will decline, and alveolar tissue decline, and oxygen will also start to decrease. And unfortunately po, kapag hindi na agapan or hindi na maaagapan, it will lead to death. Ayun lang po. Thank you for listening.
Galing.
Ay.
Ay, sorry, nagsasalita ako kanina pa. Naka-off pala yung microphone ko. Okay.
Game na po, sir.
Ms. Nakario, you have presented the cascade of signs and symptoms of tuberculosis. But have you discussed how the PECRAT forms?
Sir? Again po, sir.
Ha?
Paulit po, sir. Medyo mahina po. Sorry po, sir. Ano po ulit yun, sir? Wait. Sir? Ano po? Sir? Wait lang. Ano ba mahina baka ako?